Well, I noticed a lot of new faces this evening, and I'm so glad you all came. And I want you to know that this is a safe place to share. So if you want to tell us your story, there'll be no judgment.
Hi, my name is Charlie, and as you know, I have a problem. I'm addicted to cars. Today I wanted to show you just a quick video on my daily driver. It's an updated daily driver. As many of you who've watched the channel before know, I had a 2019 Ford Explorer last, and I got froggy. I think California must be rubbing off on me or something, but I wanted to try something a little bit different. I'll explain to you my reasoning, good and bad. I've had this car probably about going on 6 months maybe now, and I haven't had a chance to do a video on it yet. But it's all new to me, and I think some of you out there might be new to this type of vehicle as well. So figured it'd be beneficial to make a video and maybe follow my ownership experience with something like this, since I'm a newbie. So without further ado, check this out, and then let's talk about it.
1, 2, 3. Let's get started. Real good.
Ain't nobody stopping me. Ain't nobody stopping me. Ain't nobody stopping me. Ain't nobody stopping me.
You've got to get a hold of yourself.
Ain't nobody stopping me. 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 Ain't nobody stopping me.
So that's right, this is my 2023 Ford Mustang Mach-E California Route 1 Edition. Kind of an oddball thing for me, although not really. I do like electric vehicles. I think EVs are super cool. I don't ever want to live in a world where we don't have, internal combustion engines and all the fun that goes along with those, including hot rods and classic cars and all that. So I've not turned into a tree-hugging hippie, even though I do live in California. I'll tell you what happened. My neighbor is a Tesla person through and through. They have always had Tesla since I've lived there. I like Teslas. I think they're cool. I like Elon Musk, but I to be honest, loved them. But man, I got sick of seeing them because they all look identical to me. I know there's the Model X and Model S and whatever, Model 3. And I know they're not identical. I see that there's differences, but they just look so similar that I got burnt out on that styling. So I knew I wasn't probably going to be getting a Tesla anytime soon. But I went to my neighbor. I was walking my dog. I walked past and I said, "Hey, neighbor, love your new car." He got a new Tesla. It was the Model X. So it's the SUV type. And I mean, that's just me being a good neighbor. I mean, it's nice, but it looked similar, very similar to the one that he traded in. But he comes to me and he says, "Hey, you know what this is, right?" And I said, "No." And he said, "This is the Plaid edition." And those of you who don't know the Plaid edition, Google it. It's the fast version. And I mean fast version. So immediately I thought, wow, that's amazing. And he said, "Let's go for a ride." And I said, "Absolutely." So got in this car. Mind you, this isn't even the sporty one. This is the Model X, so the SUV. And we went on to a side road. He stopped in the middle of the road and said, "Put your head back in the seat." So I put my head back in the seat and he gunned it, and I've never felt that kind of acceleration ever. I never felt that kind of speed. It actually literally made me nauseous. And he said, "Do you want to do it again?" And I said, "No, not really. Like, nobody ever needs to go that fast. That's craziness." But I was addicted. It was so cool. Such a different feeling than taking off in a regular car. First of all, there's no noise, but just the acceleration is absolute, and it's smooth, and it's odd, but it's apples to oranges compared to another car. But I did love it, and I thought that was super cool. So that is what planted the seed. And next thing I know, I'm looking at a used Mustang Mach-E GT. It was used. It was fast, not Tesla Plaid fast, but I can't afford a Tesla Plaid. That's $90,000 and up. I think $90,000 is the starting price, so that's not an option. So I test drove the GT. It was fun. It was fast, but I wasn't doing it for me, the color scheme and all that. Next thing you know, I'm looking at new ones. With some research, I saw that the California Route 1 was a faster version than just a base model. Not as fast as the GT, one step below the GT, but it also still had longer range than some of the other ones. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. It's fast enough. I'm not a fast driver, but I do like to give this some go juice, and it goes. It goes. So that's fun. I've learned a lot in the last 6 months, which I want to share with you guys. And I would say overall, I love the car. My experience has not shown me that it's cheaper or more efficient than gas. I don't think it's obviously not more expensive, but I think it's about a wash, to be honest with you, at least for me. And hey, I've got solar and I've got a battery backup. So you guys can tell me that, I'm crazy, but I know that it is not that much cheaper than having a very efficient fuel or internal combustion engine car. I would say if you really were doing this only based on money, hybrid is probably definitely the way to go. Hydrogen car would be amazing. I looked into those, but they're just not cost effective right now. Nobody bought into that technology, so not the way to go. Super expensive to have that. So but other than saving the planet, which I'm not a super green person either, that's just a nice side effect for me, or a bonus that it leaves less of a footprint. That's great, but I'm all about the experience and driving experience, and that's a lot of fun in this car. So again, I think it's about a wash for me so far. I will learn as I go, and maybe I will find more efficient ways of doing things, but as of right now, I would say it's been about a wash. So I wanted to do just a quick rundown on the history of Mach-E. It's not very long. We're kind of living the history right now. But the Ford Mach-E is a battery electric compact crossover SUV produced by Ford. It was introduced in November of 2019 and went on sale 2020 as the 2021 model. So the 2021 model was first. This one is a 2023. And I got it new, but it's obviously from the previous model year because, like all EVs, they're sort of struggling to get sales. Mach is part of the Mustang series, and his name was inspired by the Mach 1 variant of the first generation Mustang. It's a fun little throwback to that name, to a different time, to classic muscle cars. And that this does have plenty of things reminiscent of Mustang, so I'm pretty happy about that. That's cool. Anyways, these come in 4 trim levels. There's the base Select, the mid-level California Route 1 edition, which is what this is, the well-equipped Premium, and then there's a performance-oriented GT. A limited production first edition trim was also available just in that first 2021 model year. It's based on the Premium trim. A GT performance package is also available for the GT trim, which gives you probably some extra little goodies, performance and luxury goodies with the GT. The Mach-E's design was inspired by Detroit's mid-century modern architecture and the works of Charles and Ray Eames, Florence Knoll, and Eero Saarinen. Yeah, whatever. Probably close enough. Mach-E has a lot of styling cues from Mustang, including obviously the long hood, the long nose, aggressive headlights, the tri-bar tail lamps, and a rear haunch design, all pretty reminiscent of the Mustang. It's like a cool spoiler placement. This sunroof takes up most of the roof of the car, but it's all blacked out, so it just looks like a blacked out roof, breaking up some of the grabber blue, which this is again grabber blue, similar to the GT Mustang I had from 2017. They make these mostly from composite fiber, which is saving weight over the carbon fiber. It's powered by a total of 7 electric motors from a 56.8 kilowatt hour nickel manganese what cobalt alloy battery for high performance and discharge rate, cooled by a dielectric coolant. The power of each electric motor can be adjusted individually within very small margins, and could allow for switching between all-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, and front-wheel drive. This is an all-wheel drive, so it's got 2 separate motors for the front and rear drivetrain. Helps make it pretty quick. Our Goodwood Festival of Speed in July of 2023, Ford unveiled the Rally concept car, which will be put into production. Well, actually, which was put into production in September of 2023, and I've seen those. They're super cool. Sort of a rally car tribute version of this. Really cool. So yeah, that's that. I don't know all of the numbers of this specific car. I want to say the GTs do 0 to 60 in like 3.5 or 3.7, something like that. I think this one is up in the 4.2 to 4.5 range seconds, and then the standard ones are going to be in the 5.5 seconds, something like that. Somebody out there will know, I'm sure, better than I do, but it's fast. It's as fast as you need it to be. A lot of really cool features in here. Obviously, it's gonna have the iPad style display with a lot of different features. There's a lot to go through. If you want to see every little thing, I would just go to like Ford's website and you can see how all the features work. But some of the highlights that I've noticed are one pedal driving, which is really cool. That's sort of like driving a go-kart, I guess, where you literally, as you lift your foot off the gas pedal, the car automatically uses the motor to brake. So it's saving your brakes. It's a little bit strange to get used to, but really cool. It's a fun experience to drive. Blue Cruise is probably the coolest thing. I have mixed emotions about it because this is included in my purchase till 2027. After that, it's going to cost, I think the cost right now went from $800 a year to $400 a year. I am not thrilled at all about having to pay for something that's already in my car and they turn it on and off. That bothers me, but I can't really blame Ford for that because that's just the world we live in now. All the companies are doing it. I think BMW is one of the first, and they're all following suit. And once they start doing it, they'll never stop. But it did get cheaper. Blue Cruise is cool because as long as you're on a main highway, freeway, that are kind of pre-mapped, you will see that your display will tell you that Blue Cruise is available to you. You hit the button, and it's basically a hands-free driving, pedal-free driving. It's adaptive cruise control with keeping you in the lane. It's nice. It's sort of a gimmick. It is nice, but it doesn't really save you from anything. I've got a camera blasted on my face, so that way if I look over at my passenger, I'm talking, or if I look down at my phone or I did anything, it knows you're not watching the road, so it warns you and beeps and hollers at you. So it's not like you can just curl up and go to sleep and let the thing go. You're still pretty much having to be aware of everything. So I don't know how useful it is, but it is nice, and it's obviously a cool thing to show people. After 2027, when they're expecting me to pay for it, I honestly don't know if I'm going to keep it, but we'll see. It is one of the cooler features. The other thing that is a highlight for me anyway is these seats. These seats, I don't know what makes them different, I'll be honest. I don't know if this is what, maybe this is real leather and I'm used to, you know, pleather. I have no idea. Maybe in the price point of this car that they use nicer, whatever it is, it's a nice material. It's soft. What it reminds me of is when I worked at the dealership, when I would sell the King Ranch trim package for the F-Series, for the Super Duties, or even the, I guess the F-150s, they had it too. King Ranch though, those seats were beautiful to look at, and they looked sort of like a well-worn in baseball mitt, but they're really soft, comfortable leather. And this kind of reminds me of that, although looking even nicer. I mean, these are really sleek looking with the black and the white stitching. You got the carbon fiber design on the dashboard is very attractive. Sound system's good. The premium has a better sound system, and it's really good, but this one's, I mean, good enough. The sunroof is really nice, big, long, goes all the way to the back seat, so covers everybody. Everything else is pretty much what you'd expect in any SUV. The seats folding down. Another thing that's helpful is the rear hatch has a rubber mat, which I find really helpful for, you know, transporting the dogs or anything. You don't have to worry about getting it on the carpet. I have to clean it up. That rubber mat will take a beating. You just throw it out, spray it down, and then dry it off and put it back in. So that's been really nice. I do like that. Dislikes would be the wheels, obviously. If you've watched this channel, you know I don't tolerate ugly wheels for very long. And these are they're ugly in a kind of a cool way, only because I get it, it's an EV. They do everything to cut down on wind resistance and stuff to maximize your distance. But so the ugliness of the wheel is sort of futuristic, and that doesn't bother me as much. I would like to try to do something different to it, but I'm hesitant to change the wheel out because that will definitely decrease my range. If the biggest problem with these wheels is they're too small. These are probably 18s, and you need at least 20s on here. Or they might even be 19s, I don't know, but there's a huge space for wheels, and I like to fill up the wheel well. These wheels definitely do not do that, but again, any changes I make towards bigger wheels or, you know, nicer rims that I would like are gonna create drag and or weight, and I'm gonna decrease my range. And this vehicle is really, you know, about transportation and getting us where we need to be and being economical and efficient. So I hate to change these out. So I might see what ideas I can come up with just on these wheels to do something to them. I don't know. yeah, everything else, the charging it's okay. It's definitely going to a level 2 charger. You know, you're supposed to keep this battery between 20 and 80% on regular use. If you're going somewhere, you can obviously charge past 80%, but you don't want to go below 20%. So we keep it between 20 and 80. We're generally get down to about 40%, and then we'll take it into a supercharger, charge it back up to 80, and that's gonna cost us about 20 bucks. Takes about, you know, 20 minutes, something like that. So it does force you to spend some time relaxing. There's a cool entertainment mode on this iPad or on this pad that you can do different things. You can watch YouTube, you can do, but you know, you pretty much have your phone for that, so that's not a huge deal. We do charge at home, but you're gonna get, you know, 11 to 13% overnight, maybe on the wall charger 110 or 120. And I'll tell you what, we're still trying to figure out our bill because we were also using air conditioning when we had this car. So now that it's winter and we won't be using air conditioning, we're gonna see really how efficient it is. But our bill went up significantly when we got this car. We went from having no bill, just a maintenance fee because of our solar and our battery, to having a pretty significant electric bill. So again, we're gonna see if that's the use of air conditioner that put us out of whack, or the EV, or a combination of both is probably what it is. But yeah, using the wall socket is not very efficient at all, but it can be done. And for a general use, whenever my wife goes to work or I go to work, we're only going to use 15%, so we can just plug it in the wall and overnight, and we'll get that back. It's just when we go anywhere further. We've not taken any trips yet, but there are things in the app that allow you to plan a trip based on the stops, and it plans the stops and shows you where they are. That's pretty cool, but we're still too chicken to try it, so we'll get to that part. But again, yeah, this is a whole new thing for us. We have never, you know, really thought that hard about EVs, and this is our first foray into it, and we did it with our main vehicle. So go big or go home, yeah? Anyway, I will try to keep you guys up to speed on our journey with EVs. As I learn things, I'll try to share them. If you have any questions, or heck, if you are an avid EV user already, and you've got, you know, tips, tricks, things to add to what I'm saying, because this is a very, very brief overview of everything, put it down in the comments. I'm sure I would appreciate it. I'm sure everybody else would appreciate hearing from somebody who knows what the hell they're talking about. That's not me. Other than that, I really like the car. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing it. Definitely like, subscribe, click the bell to be reminded of new content. I've got other things coming up that I want to show you guys, but I figured I better show you guys this since I've been driving it around, and I want to have a good representation of it while it's still fairly new, and take you guys with me on the journey. So don't worry, this is not going into an all EV channel. I hope to feature some of the stuff from this for sure, because I think it's useful for people who don't already know or are thinking about getting an EV. But I still love my other cars, so you'll see more stuff on the Mercedes and some other things that we've got in plan, that we've got in store for you to show you. I can't wait to show you, and a few surprises. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.